Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV for the first preview of the Premier League season. It's Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest, and I'm here with Cecil and Robbie to break it down. A 12:30 PM kickoff UK time. Arsenal, they don't kick off the Premier League season unlike previous years. We know that there's always been a little bit of a can we catch Arsenal out on the first day? But we are playing actually second. Is Burnley City that kicked things off on Friday night. Arsenal, the first game of the Premier League weekend. Cecil, Robbie, welcome home.
Welcome home, man, and you know what I mean, sunglasses. This first time I've had sunglasses and shorts since we left America.
Yeah, no, so.
I mean, the weather's been dreadful,
Absolutely.
man. So,
And I'm in a full tracksuit.
but it's good to see the weather's come back in time for the first game, and I'm really looking forward to that first game of the season. New signings, we've had a proper pre-season. The whole team, the whole squad, has had a full pre-season, a good pre-season as well. I know there was the defeat in there to Man United, but a good pre-season, I feel, where, a lot of experimentation took place. And last weekend, I thought, the team played very well against Manchester City. And so that gives us a lot of optimism going into this game.
Yeah, and he mentions that Community Shield, and without dwelling on it too much, it was obviously a win at Wembley against Manchester City. But I think the performance over 90, that ability to hang on having 1-0 down, to concede a few chances but create a few, I just think these are little confidence boosts that maybe Arsenal didn't need ahead of this game, but ahead of what is hopefully going to be a title challenge this season.
Yeah, I think I needed it ahead of the whole season, James, and I think Robbie was right. I spoke to fans before the Community Shield game, and they didn't have the same feeling they had last season going into the season. I think the confidence grew massively after picking up that Community Shield, and regardless of what anyone says in regards to if they think it's a serious trophy or not, we just beat the best team in the world over it was maybe in penalties, but it's the best team in the world in my opinion, and that's a massive confidence boost for me personally as a fan, and I'm sure the boys as well going into this game to kick off the Premier League weekend against Nottingham Forest. So it's made me feel more confident. I'm now very much excited for the game come Saturday. And yeah, it's hopefully under the sun and we get a nice 3 points comfortably.
And it'd normally be about this time, everyone, that we'd be talking about the league table, looking at how we shape up. Obviously, it's the first game of the season, but for Arsenal, apparently we're not top. It's Bournemouth. AFC Bournemouth.
I saw that. I saw that.
Bournemouth.
We'll take that top position at the end of the season. That's when you really want to be right up there. But listen, it's so important that we get off to a good start. You know what I mean? Because last season, that's what we did. We got off to a flyer, and that then you then have something to build upon. And if we're gonna be, challenging for titles, these are the type of games. Whatever time of the season it happens, we're supposed to win. We thrashed them last year here at the Emirates. We didn't at their place, but here at the Emirates we thrashed them. And I think we've, in getting this as the first game of the season, you couldn't really hope for a better opening game than to play a team that struggled last season in your first game before they can get up ahead of steam, here at the Emirates. I don't think Arsenal could have wished for a better starting game.
That is one way to look at it. Sorry to cut you, Cess, but he is 1-2 in his record with Steve Cooper, Arteta. I know it is 2 defeats away from home, 2 1-0 defeats, 1 in the FA Cup, 1 in the league season last year, which actually gave Man City the title. So we have lost to Forest under pressure situations, a chance to progress to a cup round and a chance to, at least maintain some sort of pressure on Man City and hope that they go do the job. But we kind of ultimately handled it at the end of the season. Yeah, we beat them 5-0 here. But actually, we have reason to be somewhat cautious.
Yep. But I'd say, you say somewhat cautious, I'm saying it's not as far as revenge, but it's definitely a sense of, we have to send a message to everyone on this game, especially after last season. Now, I remember, I'm doing a tie here. When we lost 1-0 to them last season, the fans were saying, you bottled it, you're singing it, you're not the Forest fans. And, as Ty would say, it did annoy me a little bit. It did annoy me. And the boys did throw it away against Nottingham Forest last season at their place. So I want to send a message in this game come Saturday. I really want a big performance. I want a lot of goals. I would love another 5-0. That's kind of what I'm expecting. We'd made our predictions in the recent video on AFTV, and I said, look, I expect us to go unbeaten here. And I really want to go with that energy come Saturday. And listen, they haven't had the greatest of pre-seasons. I think they lost their last 3 games. They lost to Rennes.
Well, I was going to touch on that. So they haven't had a good.
They haven't had a good pre-season at all. They lost to Leeds United, they lost to Rennes, they lost to PSV Eindhoven. They got battered by Rennes 5-0.
Good teams though.
Yeah, they are good. They're good, and I'm not going to disrespect them at all. But
they're not any of the real top teams, are they?
Exactly. We only lost to Man United And Man United, you can kind of understand. But the teams we beat, I expect going into the game Saturday that we should be able to just roll over Nottingham Forest. And that's no disrespect to them, but I just think we really need to kickstart like we did last season and just get momentum started early on.
And you did touch on their pre-season, but there's also, I suppose, an injury to potentially a key player.
Right, so Awanyi, who I know, Robbie, you liked last season. You said he
was excellent. Yeah, I mean, his hold-up play.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When they played against us, he scored the goal, remember? He was a handful. He really was a handful.
He definitely was, and he's been missing for most of their pre-season. They're saying there might be a chance for him to start this Saturday, but for me, that could potentially detriment Nottingham Forest. A player that hasn't featured most of the pre-season, coming back against Arsenal Football Club to start the Premier League, a lot of pressure on him, may not be fully fit. So it is a shame, because I think he's a great player, but I think it benefits Arsenal. But that is the main player that I kind of saw that, you know, he was the main threat for Nottingham Forest, and he's going to be returning from injury.
You touched on momentum, Robbie. You said it's important we get a win. We saw last season we got that 5 wins out of 5, and it really set off this chain reaction where we went and got 50 points out, and 50 points out of our first 19 games. We actually have an opportunity here. This is one of 3 home games in our first 4 games. So this is a really good opportunity. I'm not disrespecting any of those teams. Then there's Palace away in there as well. Man United, I think, are one of the teams coming up. But you know, when Cecil touches on an undefeated home record, that would be very impressive to do. But I think the big thing is, can we build momentum where a fixture list has surprisingly been fairly kind to us at the beginning of the season? We've not said that for a few years.
Yeah, no, I think there's a chance for Arsenal to get off to a great start. Like you said, 3 home games this month. And home form has to be better this year. I felt last year, I mean, you said earlier about lost that game at Forest. It was already, you know, what lost the league at Forest. The league was already lost before we got to that game. That game was just sort of mathematically made it was gone. It was over with. We already knew that. So that was one of the reasons why that performance was so flat on that day. I don't expect it to be like that at all on Saturday. The place is going to be buzzing. It's going to be a different type of Arsenal, a sharp Arsenal. We've had a very good pre-season with all their new signings taking part in all throughout that pre-season. So I don't expect it to be anything like that last game against Forest. But the home form is where we've got to do well. We've got to perform week in, week out, and we've got to win games here. I felt last year we almost sometimes better away, right? And then at home we kept getting caught in transition game after game. Remember Southampton and Bournemouth, and remember, these are teams that we were all expected to beat. So these are things that we got to tighten up. This is another one of those games where come Saturday, every fan walking up here, when you ask them for their predictions, they're probably going to be 4+, right, for every single one. But if Arsenal are complacent, if we defend how we did at times in some of the home games last season, we can get caught out here, we could lose, we could draw, you know what I mean? So I think that's one of the reasons why Declan Rice has been brought into this team, to stop that sort of us getting done on that sort of transition, you know what I mean, counter-attack. And let's be real, we already know what Forest are going to do. They came, when we went to their place last season, they were at home, they had absolutely no intention of attacking whatsoever. They sat ultra deep with everybody behind the ball, win it, and then get up the pitch quick, get it to the big guy up front, and, you know, and just get runners and try and nick a goal. And that's exactly what they'll try and do this week. So we're going to have lots of the ball. We're going to have lots of attacking play, and hopefully get an early goal, settle the nerves, and then just really, you know, turn it on. That's what I want to see this week. But the home form, like you said, is important, but we've got to defend better at home.
I think you're so right about complacency, and I really want to make that point, because when you look at, actually, we've won 4 Community Shields in the last 10 years. And actually, after we won that first one beating Man City, we then went life and death with Crystal Palace here. We beat them 2-1, a last-minute Ramsey goal in added time, got us the win. And then we win the Community Shield the year after. We lose 2-0 to West Ham at the Emirates. Again, a Dimitri Payet masterclass.
Remember that.
So complacency can settle in. We've had games at home where we won the Community Shield, we think, silverware in our hands, or we've beaten the team that won the league, and then actually it settles in, and you end up struggling with what should have been something fairly straightforward. I think we won the Community Shield when, do you remember the Kolasinac equaliser we won on penalties? When, again, life and death with Leicester, we beat them 4-3 in a last minute sort of scramble to get the 3 points. I think Arsenal need to show real focus. And one thing we've got from Arteta is real focus. But when you mentioned transitions, real openness at the back, we didn't see that against City, but we did see that a lot in pre-season. That was a big problem.
Lots. We saw it against Barcelona. We saw it against Man United. We saw it against MLS All-Stars. Everybody, right? Monaco, right? We cannot afford to do that this weekend. What I did like, as I said, is in that Community Shield, is we did not see that at all.
Exactly.
We played really well. I like the formation. I like the way, you know what I mean, we look solid. I like the way through the middle of the park we controlled a lot of the game against, you know, the best team around. So maintain that discipline in those areas this weekend and then add the attacking force here. I think we'll be good. You know what I mean? But I would love to see Arsenal keep a clean sheet. Win the game and keep a clean sheet on Saturday, because as I said, a lot of home games last year, man, we conceded too many goals. Although we did put 5 past them unanswered.
Yeah, last time.
Forest.
Just quickly, let me ask you guys this just quickly. How many points do you expect to get in the first 5 games? The only reason I'm asking, I did this last season with Turkish, and he said 15, and I didn't expect that. I was quite shocked. I said maybe 13 at a push. But going into this season, just the first 5 games, what do you expect Arsenal to do?
So the first 5 are?
There's still, I think there's Palace in there, Everton, Fulham.
Man United.
Man United and Nottingham Forest.
I'm going to double check just to be absolutely sure. But from what I remember, I think my expectation would be 5 with kind of like 13 maybe being just like acceptable. But I think my thoughts was 15 out of 15. We've got, Forest at home. Then we've got Palace away. Then Fulham at home, United at home, Everton away. The thing is, United at home and Everton away can be sticky, even Palace away. So I think 13 out of 15 isn't bad. But come on, we've just spent 200 plus million in this window. We challenged the title last year. Let's
not always
flex a little bit.
Not always. Listen, I'd love to go unbeaten in all those games, but it's not always easy. The United game's tricky, and we've got a terrible record away at Everton that we have to put right.
That's absolutely true.
Let's be real. You know, you look at that game on
Definitely.
paper, and you say, Everton away. That's the way Everton over the last few seasons. Well, they beat us last year. You know what I mean? So and the year
and
before.
the season before,
So and I think the season before that, was it a draw? It's a difficult place for us to go to. Those are the things we have to put right. But it all starts Saturday here. We've got to get off to a winning start.
Agreed.
It would be a bit disastrous if we didn't.
Agreed.
And they just got to be on it. Play like how we did last week at Wembley, and I'm convinced we'll win the game.
Completely agree. All right, everyone. There is injury news as well with Alexander Zinchenko. We know he played in the game for Ukraine. Well done to you guys covering it as well fantastically in the metaverse and across TR Sports. If you want to check out all that content, go ahead and check out all that content as well. With Zinchenko, we still don't know if he's 100% fit, but he has been in full training for a week now. So let's hope maybe he's got a place on the bench. Jorginho missed the Community Shield game, and of course Jesus is still nursing a little procedure. Let's put it that way. Hopefully it won't be too long. Yes, all that. There will be a predicted 11 video, so more on the injury news and what we expect the 11 to be will be in that video as well. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to AFTV if you haven't yet.
Don't want to have predictions?
Not really. Go on.
I'm going to go...
Go on, you going to be one of those fans?
I'm going to go 3-0.
Okay.
I think,
I
think Arteta will be desperate to keep a clean sheet. They all know last season it weren't good enough here. As I said, the funny thing is we were better away, I felt, in performance-wise than we were at home. Got to make this a fortress, right? And keep clean sheets here. So, 3-0. Aaron Ramsey will be looking at it and say, I need clean sheets. Got Raya breathing down my neck now. So, 3-0.
You know me? I'm going to say... It's annoying because I was going to go 3-0 as well, but now Robbie's done it, I don't want to do it. So I think, they're going to be frustrating to break down. They're definitely going to try and annoy Arsenal, and obviously with the new rules as well coming in, they're going to try and do that and frustrate us. But
you know what? Sorry to cut over you, man. That's going to be interesting, actually. Right, the new rule changes, right, which is, to stop time wasting, to stop all the negative ways in which. Teams are just part of the bus. Now, I've heard a lot of players moaning about this, right? I think it's going to benefit teams like Arsenal. You know what I mean? You think of teams like Nottingham Forest, if they come and they are ultra negative, they could find an additional 10 minutes added on where there's more chance to get goals. So it's going to be interesting to see their approach. That's going to be great.
It will be. I'm going to go, I wanted to do 3-0. Let's do 4-1.
I'm going for a sticky 3-1. One of those where it's uncomfortable for a lot of the game, but we maybe just find that extra goal cushion and we get the win. Let's hope. I could see Arsenal, for everything we just said about transition, pre-season, all that, I can actually see Arsenal looking a little rusty compared to how they did in the Community Shield. But let's see, and let's hope we're all right and that Arsenal get the 3 points. Let us know your prediction in the comment section below. Like I said, all our coverage of the match is across Saturday and Sunday as well. Go check out all the content coming out throughout the week, previewing the game. Box to Box will be out as well. Subscribe to AFTV and see you very soon.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.